Donald Trump appears to be in very buoyant mood. He's come back from doing a deal with Chinese leader Xi Jinping. He obviously had the recent success in the Middle East too. Is that resonating within the US? Is he gaining popularity because of it?
I think what's interesting is constitutionally, and this has been a dilemma for especially the last 100 years when we've seen the presidency get more powerful. Presidents often, their most, what they do on a day-to-day basis is so often foreign policy related, but that tends not to be what American voters really think about. And I kind of recall Biden being frustrated. There's a memoir revealing that Biden was frustrated that public opinion wise, he wasn't doing too well in the polls. And he was citing, what he saw as victories on Ukraine negotiations, for example. But that doesn't really matter as much to people as cost of living does. And when you think of someone like Mr. Trump, got back into office running a populist campaign, won decisively as far as undecided voters decisively breaking for him because of cost of living issues. Stuff like foreign policy, it gets a lot of press, but as far as people on a day-to-day basis are concerned, they're more interested in food costs, gas costs, electricity costs. So I think in general, despite the media attention, stuff like UAE, AI chip deal, or, negotiations with China on tariffs, it's a little more abstract for people. And I think that's kind of a common frustration among presidents of either party for feeling like their foreign policy, what they see as successes, are just not really breaking through with the electorate.
We do know the Americans are fascinated by Britain's royal family, or many of them are, and also interested in this whole dilemma over the Epstein files. So how interesting is it that the family of the late Virginia Giuffre is saying that Andrew being stripped of his royal titles by the King Charles could lead to some lobbying in the States when it comes to more pressure on how much of those Epstein files are being released?
Yeah, I think this is something where we've seen the Republican majority under Mike Johnson kind of turn back in terms of really going forward with releasing the full files. At least that's how it generally appears, and that's why there's been such a controversy among it. I think if there ends up being a change in power in Congress come 2026 midterms, we might see it go. Obviously, there's going to be public pressure on it, but as it stands now, Congress is notoriously catatonic, especially with no real change in party. It's not really a priority among Republican leaders at the moment to have the files released. But as it stands, so I think that, this will only add to continual public pressure on the topic, and it will just become a more uncomfortable issue going forward, I think, if left unresolved.
Listen, always fascinating to hear your take on it. That's US political analyst Aidan Smith. Thanks, Aidan.